Now let's feed her. Of course she'll eat. Okay, hello everybody, and today we're gonna continue filming the best beginner species or genus in my opinion, and we're gonna continue with Tliltocatl species. So let's go. So yes, hello everybody again. Today I'm just gonna film the Tliltocatl species that I have. I do have, again, most of them as of Brachypelmas, and yes, in my opinion they are really nice beginner species. They are kinda boringish in colorations, but they are really nice to keep, and keeping husbandry is very similar to Brachypelmas. So let's try and feed Brachypelma verdesi first. She took it, and as you can see, she is in kind of a hidey hole space where she can go if she doesn't want to be disturbed. It was filled more with dirt before, but now she's like, yeah, it's like that. And again, very nice species. I think this species does have like a different thing on their head. Like they do have like kind of a triangle pattern like Brachypelma emilias do. That's why they were previously before in the same genus, but because of bad tarantula breeding and everything, it kind of disappeared and it kind of made a separate genus. So yeah, basically Tliltocatl means in Aztec language brown spider, and it was revisioned now I think 4 or 5 years ago from Brachypelmas to Tliltocatl. It's just a brown spider with reddish, orangish hairs on its abdomen, blackish abdomen, and blackish grayish legs. That's basically Tliltocatl. Some of them have more of a red abdomen, some of them don't. That's kind of the main difference. I can't really like tell a difference between few of them, but there's just a nice spider, and she's really enjoying strolling around the Mexican rose gray. I think that's referring to her abdomen hairs, because they are kind of a rose-ish color, and the gray legs. Very nice spider indeed. She's very cooperative, came out of the hidey hole and everything. So but we're gonna have to move on to next spider, so let's do that. Okay, next up is a corkbark which has a tarantula in it. I'm gonna try to lure her out. It is a Tliltocatl albupilosus species, like the curly hair tarantula. I'll try to lure her out, but I don't know, she doesn't really come out that often. Just gonna look if she's at the back of the, yeah, she's basically at the back of the log, so I'm gonna try to feed her this way. I want you guys to see her, but she's not really cooperating. Okay, she was not really interested in food, so I had to lure her out basically. You can see why it's called the curly hair. She is very fluffy and has many hairs on the abdomen as on the legs. Not as many as on the hairs, but that's the curly hair tarantula. For me, this is the best beginner species there is. I talked about Carcodes being really good and everything, but they can be kind of tricky to handle. But this one is not. As you can see, I can poke her. She's not gonna react that much. That's why I'm like saying it's the best beginner tarantula. It's very docile. It doesn't really want to do anything with you. Okay, she's escaping in the corkbark, so, and she's not hungry, so I'm gonna not feed her. But yeah, That's why I'm saying it's the best beginner tarantula. It's nice, it's docile. If you want to handle the tarantula really, this is the species I would go for. I have a few females and few males that I had before that were very handleable, very nice, and it's fluffy and it looks really cute. So that's why I would really recommend the Albopilosus species. This is of course the true form, which is from Nicaragua. I also do have the hobby form, which I will explain to you what the difference is, but for now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up is my rarest Tliltocatl I do have in the collection. I saw it once on Spider World as a small female and I bought it instantly because in my like 5 years of keeping before that, I never saw the species. It doesn't exist, I didn't know it existed, but it is a confirmed species and I'm gonna try to lure her out, but she's in a tunnel, so she's not coming out and I'm kind of sorry for it, but I will remember to put in the footage and send it to editor and insert it here, and you can see the spider when it's not in the hole. Basically the difference is, I don't think the main difference is it's kind of more of a blackish coloration. It's not really gray, and her abdomen has really like full-on reddish hairs. So that's the main difference, and it's a really nice species to have. It's really rare in, I think not in Europe, but in Slovenia definitely. It's really rare spider, so I'm really glad that I have it. And now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up is a species that is no longer a Tliltocatl, but was a Tliltocatl till 2 years ago, and before it was a Brachypelma. It is a Sericopelma species angustum. I think it looks very similar to Vagans, with some slight differences, and it's just a gorgeous spider anyway, so I wanted to show her off before I do like a part 3 where I film all other spiders, but you know, that's a long way to go. So now let's feed her. Of course she'll eat. And again you can see it has a cork coconut hide that is like the full coconut and it can hide in it, but I think the burrow is hidden, so, and it's already full of dirt, so she doesn't want to hide, and it's a really nice species. I do like it. You can see the, what's the common name of this spider? I don't even know the common name. Red rump. Okay, it's like Vagans, which is a Mexican red rump, but this is from Costa Rica, so that's why you see it's like, I don't know why it really is a Tliltocatl. Well, it's not a Tliltocatl anymore, but you know, scientists know the best. So gorgeous spider. It does really look like a Vagans though. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up is the first Tliltocatl I actually got like a few years ago, I think at least 5, from a friend. It's a Tliltocatl Kallenbergi, Veracruz red rump. Nice spider. Don't have anything to say much. It's basically like a Vagans, but not really. So I don't think she'll eat, but okay. There's a typical response from her. She's not really like, I don't know, not really interested. You can see she's a, I don't know, she's been special always. She doesn't really eat that much, but I just leave it in and she'll eventually eat it. I forgot to mention that before the Tliltocatls I had, Epicurano was bought by me as a 5 centimeter female. Verdesi was a sling. Albopilosus was a sling. Angustum was a sling. This one wasn't a sling. It was adultish, 10 centimeter size. and the others I will follow. We will follow on. I will tell you. But yeah, this is. I think I have her for like 5 years. So she's kind of quirky, but very nice spider. Anyway, so she maybe even took it. It's just it does. She's kind of weird like that. I do have some spiders that are like weird with feeding. As you can see, like all others, Tliltocatl just took the roach and just ate it, but she kind of looks at it weird. Like Brachypelma abupilosus that we filmed last week had kind of similar response. So that's just the way tarantulas are sometimes. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up is a Tliltocatl vagans species. I got this spider as a subadult, a little bit smaller than she is now, because I did and I do have a species that I thought it was a Tliltocatl, but I'm not 100% sure it is. And this species is not really that expensive. The females are like the bigger ones are even like 40 to 50 euros. Not expensive. So if you want to have a spider that is like nice and red rumpish and everything, that this is the species. Of course she'll take it. Just a nice spider. This is the Mexican red rump. It is a Mexican species. I don't know if I mentioned, but most of the, not all of them actually, or Brachypelmas are Mexican, and Tliltocatls aren't. They are located somewhere else in, like I mentioned in the names, but they're located in different like South American countries. Pardon me, it's not South African. And it's just, you know, blackish, grayish legs, reddish rump, and the species that I'm filming the video for next week, which is a kind of a teaser, it doesn't look like this. It looks eerily different. So we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, this is the Tliltocatl vagans. Great beginner species, but in my opinion not the best to handle. The best handleable species is actually like a Tliltocatl abupilosus. If you really want to handle species, I would recommend highly like a Tliltocatl abupilosus species. It's just perfect. It's fluffy, it's cute, and you can make great like shots of it. It's just nice. This is also just a great species. Again, had a bottle before, just covered it with soil. So I think I mentioned it before, but this species is again a deserty one, and again I feed them as I do Brachypelmas. Adults once a month, juveniles still like 10 centimeters to like 15, I think, something like that, every 2 weeks, and then slings every week, and just slings like till 5 centimeter size. That's what I mean, not juveniles. But yeah, that's it for Tliltocatl vagans. Let's move on to the last species that I do have. Okay, so the last Tliltocatl that I have in my collection is this one. You saw the Tliltocatl golden black in the slings video, but it's not a confirmed species, so I'm not feeding them here, and it's not in the glass terrariums as well. So where is it? Come on. Okay, it'll come out, don't worry. And this is, no, please come out, come on. I know I'm bothering you, but I want to show the people. Can you see it? Okay, it's fine then. This is Tliltocatl abupilosus, the same as the female we didn't really see before, but it is the hobby form. That's the main difference. It's again like a hobby for a curly hair tarantula, but it does have less hairs, and the coloration of the abdomen is slightly different and everything. So it's a different species completely. I mean, it's not a different species, it is a species that is the same but has different locality. Locality means it comes from different environment. You have that very commonly in Trinochilus murinus, the orange thing, orange bitey tarantula, whatever the common name is. It has like red color form, tan color form, and dark color form. And again, locality is based on which country it comes from, like Kenya, Tanzania, it has that different localities, but it's the same species. This is the same basically. It comes from Honduras, so it is a different country, but again, the same species. And this one is slightly different. As you can see from the abdomen and the hairs, it has like less goldenish, brownish colors and more duller colors on the abdomen and on the legs. It is not as bright and fluffy as the true form. That's why I call it like the Nicaraguan form is the true form, and this is the hobby form. It's basically like a duller version of it, but again, a nice spider. Like this spider is very special to me because it is the only one left from my first egg sac that I used to have. I had the first egg sac I had was a Tliltocatl Tarantulas species. The female unfortunately died like I think 3 years ago right now. She was really old, so the fact that she made an egg sac with 200 spiders was crazy. We got her from some, I don't know, from some breeder that was giving tarantulas away because they couldn't keep them anymore, and that's why we got it. And then we paired it. We didn't really want to pair it, but you know, we sold it on, I think, to England. I think we sold the slinks to England. So yeah, and this is the only one left. And why it was left is because I used to have slinks like in my old bedroom on top of like a big shelf, and it escaped and went into Poecilotheria ornata enclosure, and it lived there for I think like half a year. It didn't really eat much because, you know, ornata eats like a big prey, and this didn't eat that much, and it was like 3 times the size of the other slinks. But when I found it, I kept it. I didn't know what species it was, and it's just crazy story. And it is that's for named Lucky. That's the name of the tarantula because it's very lucky that survived in a giant tarantula enclosures, basically soil for months and months and months, and it's survived. So yeah, that's why it's special to me, and it will be forever in my care until it basically dies of old age. And it is also a female, so that's great because of that. Again, great beginner species, as I mentioned. Feed them as much time as I mentioned. They don't need that much water, so every month fill up the water dish, give them a hide like she has, or like a cork bark hide that can go into, and that's it basically. With Tliltocatl species, please watch the Brachypelma species that was Brachypelma feeding video that was released in last week, so we have more context to this week's video. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, leave a like, subscribe down below. I do respond to every comment you leave, and tell me what is your recommended beginner tarantula species now that I've done Brachypelma and Albopilossus. Maybe I have some other species that I don't know and are better for beginners, but I do think that is doubtful. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Bye bye.